So how did these guiding questions work for you? How old were you? Perfect. To keep things organized. And how are these flowers related to your grandmother? Yeah, there's a couple of possibilities. There's no hurry. Oh, hi. Great to finally meet you in person. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Please take a seat. Would you like a drink? Yes, of course. Would you like a hot or a cold beverage? Cold. Just water? Well, how about a sparkling water then? We have plain Perrier, but we also have some fun flavors such as lemon, raspberry, and blackberry sparkling waters. Yeah, blackberry. That's a great choice. It's one of my favorites. Would you like ice with your blackberry sparkling water? No, it's no problem at all. Let me go get that for you now. I'm surprised you're choosing a cold drink today because it's quite chilly even though it's the first day of spring. Here you go. Do you mind if I get myself one as well? I'm really in the mood now that I've poured you one. You don't mind? I'll just be 1 second. Yeah, now we've both got one. Now before we launch in, I just wanted to restate that everything you share with me is completely confidential, and you will approve each draft as we go, right up to the final draft of your biography. Yeah, just before the manuscript is sent off for publication. Yes, of course. I see that you printed off the guiding questions. May I take a look? Okay. Wow, you've brought a lot of different things here. I see you've got some historical documents and something labeled photographs. I've got a lot of work ahead of me, don't I? So how did these guiding questions work for you? Yeah. They were helpful. I'm so happy to hear that. So as you know, this is all preliminary self-research. and preparation to get you thinking about the things you want to cover in your biography, the story of your life. Okay, I see that you signed the agreement too. Definitely informal, and we can change it as we go along. But I'm going to just keep this folded and separate over here on my desk. I see that you have highlighted some parts here. That's great. Things that stood out to you, yeah. That's great. And you've written in the margins. I see. Okay. This is excellent. It's no problem. I will organize them for you. Yeah. Yeah, I'll get these all organized for you, and you won't have to worry about the disorganization you say is here. I will get this in working order, and we can decide together what you'd like to include, what you'd like to omit. Okay? It's very rough at this point, so yeah, we're just going to take it one chapter at a time. And then in terms of the photographs that you brought along, okay, we'll take a look at these photographs in a minute. We can include photographs throughout the book, yes. And we can also have a middle section of several glossy pages. Yeah, you've seen that in books with any of the images you'd like to include, including the historical documents in the other folder. Here is that in this one. Right, so a lot to choose from, I can see. Oh wow. Yeah. So we can go through this together. We might not get to that today, but definitely we'll look at the photos along with your other notes here. We can discuss layout with the designer once we get to that stage. The visuals. Right, so probably in about 6 months, give or take, we'll be looking at that aspect with the designer. Yes, we have a lot to do before we get to that part of the project. So I'm just going to pull up the file I had started here. Yes, and I've begun the chapter with a few notes that we went over when we talked online. Yeah, so what I'll do here is start a fresh page, and yeah, in today's session I'm going to ask you more questions that are intended to spark memories in any areas that you've indicated that you'd like to explore. Yeah, so I will type or write notes as you answer the questions. Yes, in a way, it's like a conversation, and I do think that the conversational approach will come through in the text. Yeah, your reader will feel as if they are getting to know you personally. Right, but not too personally. We're going to get that just right for you in a way that makes you feel very comfortable, okay? So let's delve right in with the first question I have for you today. You mentioned that you had an inspiring moment of enlightenment as a child, almost an epiphany. I'd love to hear more about this. Where were you when this occurred? Okay. Wow. What a setting. It sounds like a fairy tale with the river flowing behind you and the sunlight dappled on the current. How old were you? Okay. Quite young. Can you bring me right into the moment of this memory through any scents, sounds, or sights? Yeah, your readers will love the sensory details for sure. This reminds me that we'll need to explore school life. Is that okay? Okay, I'm just going to jot that down in my notebook so that I don't forget to bring that up at another time. School life, and I'm just writing that down here. Perfect. Sorry about that if I got you out of the flow, but I didn't want to forget that. You're good? You remember your thought? Okay, perfect. So let's pick up where we were then. That moment, the epiphany by the river. So this all connects with another memory about a moment at school, right? What grade were you in at the time? So a little bit older. Okay. Just going to highlight that. Okay. What grade was the friend in? Okay, the same grade. Can you describe how you think this moment with another classmate, this conflict resolved, and how it ties to the sense of enlightenment that you experienced by the river that day? you were able to come to some peace and resolution after a difficult situation, and this kind of set the tone for a new way of perceiving other people and yourself. It's really interesting. And how you learned to work with people in finding resolutions to conflict. Even to a sense of emancipation. Wow. Okay. So this was a pivotal point that you believe had an effect on your growth and how you made decisions afterward, and even set you on a path to where you are today. That is so inspiring. You mentioned somewhere in your notes, I saw, I believe it was in this green folder here, that the library became a very special place for you. Yeah, let me just see. I think it's here. Okay. I think this is just a little more on the next page. Okay. Yeah, I do see that here. I can type these in a little later after our session, but I just wanted to highlight them so that I think I got all the parts about the library, yeah. But let me hear in your words as well. Okay. Can you describe the library in detail? Full description of the library and who helped you? Oh, okay. Yeah, I can find that. There's a note in here about the librarian. Here you go. For sure. You can go ahead and read that to me. Wow, she sounds like an amazing person. Great. I can totally see why you found this librarian to be so very inspiring. So let's take a look at the photographs that you brought along. You didn't label, so I will just put a label on here to keep things so these are some of the photographs that you might include. Okay, you've blown them up. Yeah, any photographs that we include will be more in the 5 to 7 inch range. But this is nice for us to take a look at and just get some inspiration from them because they're so nice and large. I love these. Do you plan to frame any of these? And this is the sunset that you mentioned. It's gorgeous. Yeah. How about we focus on one of these ones? The enlarged photograph. The enlarged flowers. These flowers here. Yeah, let's just put these right here. You can see them okay. Okay, so these flowers pertain to a very special person who has passed on, your grandmother, right? And how are these flowers related to your grandmother? Okay. Oh, that's really interesting. Did it really? Almost seems impossible, right? It's like pure magic. Yes, you mentioned in our Zoom call last week that there was a bird that your grandmother loved and a special story to go along with it. But you weren't sure what the name of the bird was. So what I have for you is a book of birds. And hopefully you'll be able to look through this and find the bird. You have a hunch. Yeah, there's a couple of possibilities. Okay, well, this book will help you narrow down the possibilities and hopefully help you find the bird that you wanted to tell a little story about in your biography. I think so, yeah. Yeah, you can borrow this. There's no hurry. And if you think of it, you can email me, okay? And we could even hop on a Zoom to go over the little story you wanted to have me tell, and I can include it in this chapter, okay? So here you go. I think we have covered a rough draft of a full chapter today. I'm going to schedule our next few meetings. Yeah, I will send you an email as well with the dates and times. We did tentatively circle these days in May. Does that give you enough time in between to do the research? Yeah, you think so? And then we could do the 7th of June. Okay, so May 9th, 23rd, and June 7th. I'll just write your name into my calendar here for these dates so that I don't give these times away to any other clients. So do you think the same time? Okay. Would you like me to write those down as well? I will be sending you an email, but you'd like a paper copy. Let me just write. Go. Once again, it was so great to finally meet you in person. I'm so happy with what we achieved today, and I'm really looking forward to working on the next chapter. Between now and then, I'm going to edit and polish the chapter, and then I'll send it to you, the one that we just wrote together, and you can approve that, and then we'll move on to the next chapter at the next session. Okay, wonderful. You take care.